Hey guys, it's Cass here again on Transform Your Life. And in this video, I'm addressing a narcissistic mentality that I see in women, right? A narcissistic, codependent mentality and patterns of behavior that I see running in the minds and lives of women, right? Because I recently made a video where I was holding men accountable for a certain form of narcissistic abuse, a narcissistic mentality and pattern of behavior running in the minds of men. And I said on my channel, I hold everyone accountable, and that I would be expanding upon the things that I said in that video step by step, okay? So be patient with me as I address these different aspects, because what I'm talking about is nuanced because there's different contexts, okay? So we have to pay attention to the context that I'm talking about in the moment, develop a level of maturity, okay? And not come like, oh, what about this? What about that? Okay, because I'm going to get to it. You just need to be patient. And I'm going to address a bunch of different contexts. So to stay balanced, before I keep expanding upon men, I want to address a mentality and a pattern of behavior I see running in women that is narcissistic and codependent. And by the way, if this energy mentality applies to you, no matter if you are heterosexual, it doesn't matter what your gender is, depending on what I'm addressing, right? Because right now I'm addressing women, but whatever your relationship dynamic looks like, whether you're heterosexual, whether you're a part of the LGBT plus community, right? Take the mentality and energy and apply it to your situation, okay? Because I'm not being, I don't want to exclude anyone, okay? So again, be patient with me. I will address different contexts. I will address different demographics of people. But when we're looking at sexuality in terms of our sexual interactions with others and sexual energy and masculine and feminine energy, it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is or your gender is. This applies to everyone, okay? So this is an inclusive channel. And right now, because there is such a heterosexual divide between men and women, right? And there are also divides between women and women, men and men, etc., in the LGBT community, right? That still applies as well. But in this video, I was called to address women, and hold them accountable as well in a certain context, because there is such a gender divide as well when it comes to men and women in heterosexual relationships, okay? So I hope you followed me with that, and I hope you understand I have good intentions here. I am inclusive. So let's all develop a sense of maturity where you can hear me out and apply the context where it applies. And if it doesn't apply to you, don't take it and wait for me to get to your demographic of people, okay? Before we come, penalizing me or saying that I don't know shit or I don't know what I'm talking about. Or another thing I'm being called to say is that I'm SLUT shaming or anything like that, okay? Hear me out before you wrongfully judge me. You judge me from a place that's out of balance, right? Because this is going to take time for people to understand who I truly am and where my perspective is truly coming from, okay? Because I am working and putting forth the effort to make sure that I am doing my best to become aware of my blind spots and removing a blind spot when it comes to a gender bias or any other biases, okay? Biases, I don't know if I pronounced that right, the plural form of the word bias. Anyway, please be humble. Please understand I am not perfect. Please develop a sense of humility. And again, I am open to constructive criticism as long as you are approaching me from a non-narcissistic standpoint. What does that mean? Approach me, express what you think I am missing or not seeing in a respectable manner, okay? And I will hear you. And if you are expressing from the heart, okay, where your logical mind and your emotional mind is coming from a place of balance and you are not attacking me, I will listen to you. However, I don't tolerate a black and white narcissistic mentality that's gonna come running, attacking me because I didn't say something in the way that you like it, so you come repeating a pattern of abuse. If I say something that is genuinely aggressive and I didn't know that it's an aggression towards a certain demographic, I am willing to hear you out and expand my mind, right? Because that's part of releasing our narcissism and healing from codependency, unhealthy forms of codependency, okay? So, matter of fact, I don't think there's any form of codependency that's healthy, but I'm getting into a technicality right here. There are times when it is healthy to step into a submissive role. So that's kind of that's what I was referring to. Because see how I'm going into all these little tangents? Because I'm so like concerned about people misreading me, misunderstanding the context. So bear with me as I film this and be patient with me as I record myself. And I am being guided by the divine to say what I am saying. So yeah, guys. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So guys, in this video, I'm holding women accountable for a certain mentality, a certain context, right? And the topic of this video is, ladies, are you a part of this Pringles lifestyle? Are you a part of this Pringles lifestyle in the unhealthy hookup culture, the dynamics of the hookup culture that are unhealthy, right? The aspects of the hookup culture that are unhealthy. So what do I mean by, are you a part of this Pringles lifestyle? Ladies, that looks like once you pop, the fun don't stop, no matter what. Once you pop, the fun don't stop, honey, no matter what harm comes to you, no matter what harm comes to others, right? It means you are not taking accountability for your part. And, you know, you're just popping it like it's Pringles all over the place, right? And you show up in a way to only put responsibility and blame on men, and you are not also holding yourself accountable. You are not taking care of your reproductive health. You are not taking care of your, vaginal health, your genitalia, right? And in this video, I'm speaking more towards conscious patterns of behavior and instilling a healthy, temporary sense of shame, right? Because it's not healthy to shame unconscious patterns of behavior, right? So that's not what I'm talking about here. When I am addressing a narcissistic, sociopathic, intentional pattern of behavior in women and way of thinking, that they are exploiting themselves and their sexual energy and living this Pringles lifestyle, right? To not only harm themselves, but they are running around trying to also play men or use men in ways that they are aware of, right? To harm men, to get back at men, to be vindictive to men, to intentionally spread sexually transmitted infections, right? I'm talking about intentionality right now, okay? Please don't get my words twisted. Now, there are times when women respond from a place of trauma. Men and women and all genders respond from a place of trauma that is subconscious, okay, when it comes to sexual energy. That is a topic for a different video, okay? I'm talking right now to women whom are being violent with their sexual energy, and they are hurting other genders, whatever the gender, and they are hurting men intentionally, and they are exploiting their sexual energy to manipulate, to use and abuse and exploit men. Okay, women, if you are doing this intentionally, right? Because right now we're talking about intentional, and when it comes to manipulation, there is no unconscious manipulation. Manipulation is a tactic, okay? This is done consciously. And women, I am here to hold you accountable because a lot of you have gone under the radar doing things intentionally, and a progressive society has not had a clear lens because of large-scale trauma bonds that men are not only to blame here, okay? As a woman who has been abused, trafficked, drugged, and poisoned by women, I can tell you in many different ways this has happened to me. And I have also been sexually assaulted and abused by women. I am here to hold women accountable too. This is not okay. When I tell you this is not okay, I am instilling in you a healthy sense of shame so it can be a catalyst for your change, for your transformation, for your growth as a person, because it is when we are repetitively inducing a shame response over and over and over again that causes mental, emotional, and physical dis-ease. When you are instilling a temporary healthy sense of shame in people because of their conscious, intentional pattern of behavior to harm other people, this serves as a catalyst for that person to change, okay? And I do this by telling you what you are doing, ladies, is not okay, and you have no right to also think that you deserve a certain standard from men if you are not living up to that standard. If you are not taking care of your reproductive health, and I know that, not everybody has medical insurance, not everybody has certain privileges, okay? For those people who are not able to get tested at the moment, okay, due to a lack of financial privilege or a lack of having a privilege that is access to medical care. If you are in this unique situation, you can hold yourself accountable in the ways that you are able to, okay? Let's not deflect. Let's not derail, okay? This is part of a narcissistic mentality to say, well, what about people that don't have access to medical care? And You be using that in a way that's not coming from a place of a genuine place in your heart, a place of integrity. Well, that's for a different topic, okay? Let's not derail the conversation and get sidetracked, okay? Because as a side note, if you don't have access to medical care in the moment, me personally, when I haven't had access to medical care in my past, then I act accordingly. I don't put myself in situations that I have control over, right? That I have control over. I don't go hooking up with men. When I say put myself in situations, I'm not talking about any level of sexual violence. I'm not talking about being on the receiving end of a trauma bond and I don't realize what's going on. I'm talking about I consciously choose not to be part of a hookup culture and the aspects of it that are out of balance that would bring danger and harm to me. So if I'm ever going to have a sexual encounter with anyone, I am going to, as a boundary, say, I need a release of medical records. I need you to sign a release of record and have you tested again now. And I need to see that you are willing to do that so that I can speak to your doctor and make sure that you have a clean bill of health before I make contact with you and your body, because this is part of self-loving, being a self-loving person so that you can vibrationally attract better for yourself, right? When you know better, you do better. When you're aware of how many people are being manipulative and lying and not taking care of their bodies, not taking care of their temples, you will assert, you know, I need you to get tested and I need you to sign a release of records so that I can talk to your doctor and confirm that what you're telling me is true and that you don't have any STDs. Even though we can heal from anything, right? We can heal from any sexually transmitted infection or disease. We still have to be balanced and respond healthily when we are dealing with a 3D